anywhere in sport. That's what the Knicks will be facing tonight in trying to stay alive. They arrived yesterday after not practicing in New York, and they canceled practice here today as well. Pat Riley says the Knicks will have to play the best game they've ever played. But against Michael Jordan and against this crowd, the question is, will it be enough? Hi again, everyone, and welcome to Chicago Stadium for Game 6. I'm Len Berman. The opening tip just 35 minutes away. The Knicks must win here tonight to force a Game 7 Sunday night at Madison Square Garden. And as you know, on the road in this building, it will not be easy. The Knicks have played 6 road games this playoff season, and they've won just 2 of them. Let's go back to Wednesday night, to Game 5, and review what got us here to this point. As Game 5 wore on, the Knicks began wearing the look of a team feeling the strain of the supreme battle of wills. They had thought themselves to be unbeatable at home, but they wound up leaving the court both stunned and beaten.
We've backed ourselves into a corner. We've worked so hard all year, and to lose this one at home in front of the crowd, it was tough. It's tough for me to handle right now.
It hurts when you need something so much, and this is a very painful loss, but you get your back planted against the wall a number of times during your life, and this is one of them, and we'll just have to deal with that.
The Knicks lost their coveted home court advantage, and for good reason. They couldn't take what was free, missing 15 of 35 foul shots. And for the first time in the series, they lost the battle of the boards, out-rebounded by Chicago, 48-37.
Sounds simple, but that's what these tight games come down to. And good teams, just the little things that's going to win the ball game. It's going to be your free throws. It's going to be those second shots, layups, and the rebounds. All the basic skills that you learn, that's what it comes down to.
Smith and the Knicks trailed by 1 in the final seconds when Game 5 came down to a flurry of attempts, none of which would make Smith a hero. The Knicks were left waiting for a whistle and a foul, neither of which ever came.
We're not going to complain. We are not going to complain. Regardless of the situation, we've been in some tough situations through the course of the season. The last thing we're going to do is, as a team, just cry and beg for help.
2-time defending champion Chicago has pushed New York to the brink of elimination. But if the Knicks are indeed finished, they certainly aren't sounding like it.
We just got to be aggressive.
Welcome back to Chicago Stadium. It is interesting to note the Knicks not practicing today. They have yet to make an appearance here on the court. So they've yet to take a shot of any kind a mere 30 minutes or so before this crucial. The New York Knicks. Is this their last best shot to win an NBA championship title? Back to Chicago Stadium in just a minute. If that game, the final moments, if that was a defining moment for the Knicks, that spoke volumes about what the Knicks were about in 92-93. Well, if that was a defining moment, then the big prize will once again elude Patrick Ewing and the New York Knicks, because in those final moments of game number 5, the series clearly swung to the Chicago Bulls.
Plenty of time on the shot clock, down to 10. Ewing for Smith. Stopped again by Pippen. What a play by Scottie Pippen. Final seconds, Jordan for Armstrong, and the Bulls have defeated the Knicks.
I slammed the ball down because I couldn't believe that the game was over at that point.
The Chicago Bulls with a couple of spectacular plays. The Bulls 97, the Knicks 94.
If that team over in the other locker room is thinking that they got us and it's over, it'd be a big shock.
It hurts when you need something so much, and this is a very painful loss, but you get your back planted against the wall a number of times during your life, and this is one of them, and we'll just have to deal with that.
It seemed so easy just a week ago as New York overwhelmed Chicago with a smothering defense and a home court edge. After just 2 games, the Knicks seemed unstoppable. But 3 defeats have replaced that edge with a fight for survival, a fight the Knicks must now wage on the Bulls' home court.
We know we can go in and beat Chicago in Chicago. And we just have to go in there and play an excellent game. As simple as that.
Our dream is still alive. This thing is not over. And I, for one, am not giving up. I've been on the other side of the fence. I've been up 3-2 in the series and lost both games. So I know it can be done. They got a fight on their hands. I can tell you that.
In a fight born of desperation, a team instinctively looks for leadership, a way to accomplish what the odds say it will not. In Game 6, the Knicks know exactly who their leader will be.
Like these could be the defining moments in the career of Patrick Ewing. The test, can he come up big, as Michael Jordan has in so many situations in huge ball games?
That question looms not just for Ewing, but for all the Knicks. Can they write a storybook ending to what once seemed a predictable yarn?
Maybe this is the most defining moment of this team's life. We just got to deal with that and regroup and go into Chicago and win.
And here are the Knicks. They have finally arrived. They took the floor moments ago to a chorus of boos here at Chicago Stadium. And it should be noted, the Knicks are not getting any younger should they lose here tonight or win and then lose in Game 7. They may face a rebuilding program. Well, we are moments away from the NBC Sports telecast of Game 6. Calling the game, as always, Marv Albert and Mike Fratello. Let's check in with them now.
Thank you, Len. The crowd here in Chicago making its way in. It's usually a late arriving crowd. And Mike, if you look back at Game 5 Wednesday night at Madison Square Garden, there were many turning points in the ball game, but the stat that stares right out at the Knicks, the poor foul shooting. They missed 15 of 35 free throws. Look at that free throw rundown right throughout the series by the Knicks. A horrendous performance at the line. We talked about that with Doc Rivers and John. You know, that kick really did it, I thought.
It was on the injured list, but that's over with, ready to go.
Very physical posture on the telestrator. Let's get back to Len.
And a deafening roar from the crowd as Michael Jordan's sister Rosalind has just completed the singing of the national anthem. This place is loud. When we return to Chicago Stadium, I'll be joined by John Andres, the Knicks analyst. We'll get you set for Game 6 coming up in just a minute. Back at Chicago Stadium, the Bulls getting ready behind us. I'm joined by John Andres, who does such a great job analyzing Knick games all season long on the Madison Square Garden Network. And John, I think it's Knick fans who need a little bit of analysis right now. What's your formula for success for the Knicks tonight?
Well, Len, I think it has to start with the arrogance, and I say that positively, that the Knicks had all season. Confidence that they didn't show the other night at Madison Square Garden. They have to feel that they can't be defeated here tonight on this enemy turf. It's going to take a lot of different things. I think Patrick Ewing and Charles Smith have got to close this end of the basket up where the Bulls are shooting right now and start knocking some shots away, for one thing. And I think they just have got to get back to the team play that Pat Riley preached from day one when this season began. They can't look to Patrick and say, Patrick, save us. They've all got to get back into the act and play with great confidence tonight.
What do you make of the fact they didn't practice yesterday? Just minutes away from the tip-off. Up next, what could be the final game of the Knicks season, or the game that forces a deciding game at the Garden. It's the New York Knicks against the Chicago Bulls. Stay tuned to Channel 4. I'll have all the post-game coverage. I'm Len Berman. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the game, everybody.